In 1970, the Perron family moved into an old farmhouse in Harrisville, Rhode Island, a home that had stood for over 200 years. Carolyn and Roger Perron, along with their 5 daughters, believed they had found a dream home, but they had unknowingly walked into a waking nightmare. This was not just any house. The land itself had a history soaked in blood, suicides, murder, mysterious disappearances. The locals whispered of a curse, a dark presence that refused to leave. But one name sent chills through the town: Bathsheba Sherman. Bathsheba was rumored to be a witch. Some claimed she had sacrificed her own child to the devil. Others swore she placed a curse on the land before she died. But one thing was certain: she never truly left. At first, it was small things. The feeling of being watched, a broom disappearing only to be found in another room. But then, the smell came. Rotting flesh. It would creep into the rooms at night, suffocating the family. And then, they saw her. The Perrons were not alone. Shadows slithered through the hallways at night. The girls whispered of hands tugging at their blankets, unseen figures standing at the foot of their beds. Carolyn woke up with bruises shaped like fingerprints. But the worst was yet to come. The entity grew bolder. Carolyn was no longer just waking up with bruises. Something was feeding off her. Her body weakened. Her face grew pale. She no longer felt like herself. And one night, as Roger sat in his chair, he saw her, the twisted apparition of Bathsheba, hanging from the ceiling, staring at him. Then came the night that nearly destroyed them. Carolyn let out a shriek so inhuman that the entire house seemed to vibrate. She was lifted off the ground, her limbs convulsing as an unseen force flung her across the room. Doors slammed shut. Furniture toppled over. The Perron family had no doubt now this was not a haunting. This was war. The moment Lorraine Warren stepped into that house, she felt it. A darkness so heavy, it was suffocating. Something was there, and it was waiting. The Warrens performed a seance to make contact with the entity, but instead of answers, they unleashed something far worse. Carolyn was no longer herself. Her eyes blackened, her voice twisted into something inhuman. She spoke in a language no one could understand, and then she laughed. A low, guttural laugh that sent shivers down the investigators' spines. Ed Warren commanded the entity to leave. The house shook violently. And then silence, but not peace. The Perrons were left terrified. And Carolyn would never be the same. The Perron family had no choice. They left the house, but something followed them. Carolyn suffered from night terrors for years. The daughters, even as adults, still hear whispers in the night. And the house, it remains, waiting for its next victims.
I see you.
What if I told you that Bathsheba's curse is still active? That those who step onto that land continue to hear whispers in the dark? And that the Warrens left behind a chilling piece of evidence never before seen? Join us next time as we reveal the terrifying truth behind the Perron family's last days in the house. Let us know in the comments what you thought of this story. And if you want to see more stories like this, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Mind Flashing. Thanks for watching and see you next time at Mind Flashing.